Hey everyone, welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Nerdarchist Ted, and we're going to play some D&D 5th edition. This is session 32 of the Curse of Narquitas game. Let's start here, go around the table, introduce yourself and who you're playing.
Alright, I'm formerly known as Nerdarchist Ryan. I'm of the Dream Syndicate, which you can find that maybe down in the doobly-doo if I can coerce Dave into putting that down there.
Maybe. You know, only if you say the whole thing.
Oh yeah, the Dream Syndicate, Arts, Craft, and Ephemera. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's good. It communicates the idea. Playing Lord Lyndon Hemsworthy, the mayor of Gryffindor, and a halfling tailor by trade.
My name's Kurt. I'm playing Henri Jean-Jacques d'Ambronnoir, but all my friends call me Lucky. He is a drow diplomat, bard.
Hi guys, my name is Adam. I'm excited to be at the table again. I'm playing Ulfgar, the paladin. Dwarf. Yeah.
Oh, no, another dwarf. Nice. The awesomeness of the power of the party just doubled.
By your
All
beards
right.
combined.
Nerdarchist Dave here, for nerds, by nerds. You already knew that part. Reflex. I am playing Uthengar of Clan Blackiron, and I am a fighter wizard of the War Wizard tradition.
I'm David. I'll be playing Thanos, who is the human druid.
You're not?
Yeah.
Everybody took 20 minutes to think who they were. I'm Mark. I'm playing Taras Tivaris, fighter, Eldritch Knight. He is the he has a bounty hunter business in the Gryffindor, so we roll like that.
Does he have like a long mullet and maybe like a feather earring coming out?
No.
Yeah.
Playing Arbalae Sanmir Dan, High Elf, Noble Merchant, Nature Cleric.
So last session we were down quite a handful of our numbers, and Gryffindor was set upon by one of the biggest chaos storms in the area. You know, prospectors were chasing it like crazy. The regular townsfolk, refused to actually go out into the storm. They huddled in while it passed.
Wait a minute. So last session, did you guys spend with Ryan's character, Lyndon, writing permits out to all these chaos prospectors?
I had to like double fist it, I'm sure.
Well, there was that was all kind of behind the scenes. Those that weren't here, we're not certain exactly what transpired. Aeson Shardgale, the eyeless seer, he went back to his master's tower to Trisgar, and we learned that the halfling was indeed old and ready to pass, and he buried his master, returned to the town, at the cusp of this storm, and there was a bit of chaos that went on, as some people seem to exist in more than one place, and a bunch of gelatinous creatures were attacking the town. The effect being that the adventurers wound up attacking these oozes in the inn, and later found out that when they returned to the regular world, the people that were in the tavern with them wound up having headaches, so there was some kind of connection between the people in the tavern and these oozes, one of which was yourself. So the last several nights that you've attempted to get not sleep for you, but your reverie, you've had some pretty massive headaches.
You're exhausted. 2 levels.
What?
6 levels of exhaustion, you're dead. Sorry.
Nah, it didn't interrupt, but it's been affecting you. You might be a little grumpy.
Yeah, the elves call
I
that
want you to tell.
the elves call that reverus interruptus.
But those adventurers that did travel into the chaos storm found some kind of hidden alcove underneath the town, and Arbalaesan now actually holds what he referred to as the Eye of the Storm.
Can we amend that a little bit and say that Aeson sacrificed his master to some dark power and became a lich? Just saying.
No, we're not going to amend that to that kind of severity.
That's ridiculous. How about a 5-headed draconic lich?
5-headed draconic lich.
A blood lich.
I don't know. So the Eyeless Seer, you guys learn, has dismissed Boken as his apprentice, and there is a note to each of you that he is returning to his tower and does not wish to be disturbed.
So what is Boken doing? Is she continuing on in Griffin Gaff? Is she leaving?
She thinks that it might be interesting to see what the wide world has to offer.
You know,
Oh boy.
Taris is going to be very heartbroken over this. I think they had a connection.
If she had something, I felt it.
I don't know. She didn't want to cuddle with you that night.
Not to be your crazy ex-girlfriend.
So
Be a meme or something.
we also wound up having a conversation with the new tailor in town.
What
Pixel
competition?
X. And the Fey Tailor stands a towering, 3'9" tall.
He's even got
So-
meat in shortness.
4 inches taller than this tailor,
Indeed. And
or so.
the rumor is that he sews magic into the clothing.
Every stitch. I've heard.
I'm gonna have that regulate. I'm gonna have a motion to regulate not having magic stitch in the clothing.
the FDA
Magic
version.
Yeah.
Patent pending.
This is going to definitely cause cancer.
Yeah. I need
Every
to regulate
stitch has
this.
to have a certificate that says it's got detect magic
Lyndon,
done on it by a
Lyndon has
professional.
begun a rumor campaign that magic clothing actually gives you cancer.
So it has been several days since the events of last session, and you have had a contract with Pixel X that you paid more to hasten the process so that you could be able to acquire your garb sooner.
Yeah, I hate to break it to you, but
You're cheating on me.
I'm cheating on you. It's not you, it's me.
He can't afford to not
So-
look this good.
I'm gonna make sassy digs on his clothing evermore.
But, you know,
it just looks.
If you were able to outdo what this guy did, that would definitely
I absolutely
be...
cannot do it.
So have you decided what 3 things it is?
What 3 outfits?
Yes.
Oh, sure, yeah. We have formal day, formal night, and casual.
Okay.
Which is also
So if you want to figure out exactly what that means, because they're, you would have figured that out, and he would have had that set so that they're
Absolutely.
ready to go.
Having just watched John Wick 2,
I've seen the first one, have not seen the second one yet.
well, there's a scene where he goes to a tailor, and the tailor
I haven't
asks...
seen it.
What?
I haven't seen it.
It's not a spoiler alert. The tailor asks what kind of suit he wants made, and he puts in the suit basically Kevlar, so it looks like a suit, but it's actually a flak jacket,
Nice.
which is
Sort of.
strangely appropriate to the apparel which Henri has ordered.
All right. So you have arrived in the newer section of town, and you have come to Pixel X's shop, and he is again there in his.
I can't believe you're shopping for your clothes from a Superman villain.
Pixel X is a
No.
not Mixelplick,
I know.
although he's short too.
I was being facetious.
Yeah. So
I know his problem. I just say his name backwards. Anyway,
So you arrive, and he is, of course, in his immaculate garb, different than the last time that you were here. So,
bonjour.
Henri, it is a pleasure to have you in the shop again.
It is a pleasure to be here. I received your missive that the garment is complete.
So as contracted, it was half to start, half upon completion. Do you have the remainder?
I do, but I would like to see the garment before I pay for it.
So he goes over to behind the counter, pulls out a cloth bundle that's tied up in a X patterned bow. He pulls the string, which upon the knot releasing, the string completely disappears. The cloth falls open, and down to the exact requested hue is your garments, if you will, and feel free to inspect.
Dribble, your changing room. So Henri will try it on.
And it fits to the exact specification.
Like a glove.
Exactly.
And I am very satisfied. So your payment, sir, in
So,
full, with a little bit extra.
Are you satisfied with each of the choices? Does it suit your needs?
And I take it Pixelex will instruct Henri how to switch from.
So there's a command word that you just speak, and it switches between, and there's ways to set it to be exactly whatever you want. There is a bit of power to it, so it's not like someone can compel you to actually, just say this word, and now your clothes is different. That would be utterly a faux pas if you were at a party.
Absolutely.
And you go
Or
from
hilarious.
formal to casual.
Yeah, I might wear white after Labor Day. Oh my gosh.
Or a ball gown.
That depends how much. Okay.
Anyway,
So
you're up
there is a
Henri
ball
has the
gown,
biggest
the ball
balls of them
gag.
all.
Is that like a triple V neck? Or
there is a definite difference
It's
between
backless. It's off the shoulder.
speaking the word and speaking the word.
I understand. This is magnificent, and I will spread the word of the fine craftsmanship which I see here today.
So just as
I think even his packaging is better than yours.
Let us not talk about people's packages.
So as a demonstration, if you don't mind, he withdraws a dagger, holds it up to
Ice over
the
blood.
cloth, and it does not cut, and you can see the sharpness of the dagger.
Thank you.
Excellent.
This knife stole.
trickery.
All right, so he'll pay in full plus appropriate extra, and he'll go on his way.
So with a bow, tell your friends.
But of course, I have even written a song. Would you like to hear it?
Oh, absolutely.
And so-
Master's writing a jingle, you son of
Oh yeah. and,
a... Son of Umberly.
The treachery never ends.
No.
and he plays.
Never
What do
trust
you
a
expect?
drow.
He is a drow.
Never trust a drow.
Well, and it's Fae. We Fae have to stick together. So he'll sing a little ditty.
About Jack and Diane.
Oh well.
So what you're
eats
saying is
fae?
you weren't
Just out of
prepared
curiosity,
to sing
what
a ditty?
has a proclivity to eating fae?
Oh, I have it. I recorded it earlier. You want to hear it?
No, not really.
Okay.
It's messed
It's
up,
me
man.
singing, so it doesn't come across as well. My charisma's not quite as high.
I do want to hear you singing. I kind of want to hear it.
Ah! Yeah. That'd be your response to my singing.
All right,
The
so
new YouTube channel, Kurt Sings.
Kurt Sings.
Featuring Kurt singing.
Yeah, they use it at Guantanamo.
Ouch.
all right, so you sing. He's delighted, but let's see how well delighted. Give me a performance check.
Natural one.
Okay. Well, in times like this, I'm going to have to. Well, let's see how I do. Just flat off.
You're gonna be flat off.
Nah, I can do better than that. I'm feeling lucky today. That's better. 26.
Okay. He is immensely pleased. He gets giddy like a child, and he's jumping up and down and clapping. Definitely out of character exuberance. And then as you finish, he composes himself, and you guys
Throws you a copper.
have a bit of pleasantries,
Oh yeah.
and you are
Drink some Fey wine.
you are off to your own business, and he's waiting for his next client.
So what is the party? I guess I go meet up with my comrades.
Well, so does anybody have anything that they'd wanted to have done the last several days for those that were here, or
I'm gonna have people dig up dirt on this new thing, this peck of a tailor.
Oh, I'll go straight to his tailor shop. Like, there is a new tailor in town. This is what he has done for me. Can you do better?
I would have been showing Sahalit
can.
the sights of Griffin Gap. Depending on how much time has gone
Alright.
by, I may have even gone back to Great Gulch.
all right. So getting to Sahalit, you guys have now been on the surface world for weeks.
Now, Sahalit was the tattooed female
Tattooist.
dwarf that we rescued
Yes.
and cleansed her ancestral homeland of the evil nether beast.
You guys fought the creature, alongside her and Gear Grinder. They traveled with you to the surface.
That was just to remind the audience.
Yes. Sahalit is a tattooed
Monk.
martial artist monk, if you will, but she seems to have magic in her actual tattoos.
Her name is Sir Howlett.
Sahalit.
Yes.
Sir Howlett.
Sahalit.
Okay.
And there has been some unspoken dialogue between Sahalit and Uthengar, and in this time frame, she has actually, come to you, and during your tour of the city, she essentially says like, all right, it's time to break this down. I need to know what your intentions are. I have felt that there is a connection here, so I have been away from Goldhelm for much longer than I was anticipating, and while we were successful in our mission, those at home are not aware. My traveling companion, Gear Grinder, says it is time for us to go back, but if you are indeed interested in courtship, official things need to start, and we can move on. Otherwise, I'm heading back to underground.
You notice the fantasy game, the woman was straightforward.
She's a dwarf.
She's a dwarf.
She's a dwarf.
Well, so I break it down in
On one knee.
in dwarven terms. I'm like, Sahalit, you are a fine craftswoman and a fine specimen of dwarven womanhood. And I am always
Braid your
looking.
beard.
I am always
my love
looking,
and my lady is the sea.
Yeah. I'm always looking to strengthen the bond of clan and hold. And I believe a union between yourself and me would be most excellent for both of our holds in our clans.
So
But
then-
furthermore, I also believe you to be a valiant warrior and someone I would be honored to spend the rest of my days with. So
Don't tell your mother about this.
Not only that, but she's Brazilian.
And then I'm like, I am freaking so rich. You don't even know how much platinum I have.
So she goes over with you that marriage is more than just this. There is a contract, and there are tasks that must be done. So like she spends some time going over and going into the three things that are important to her, which is what the contract from her home requires. So there is a task of craftsmanship, a task of magic, and a task of combat.
Wow, they seem oddly specific and biased against a lot of other people. But oddly enough, they are very much specific toward Uthengar, so I must be a god amongst their people.
Well, this is in Goldhelm, the woman dictates what the challenges are.
Okay.
Ah.
And
The
these are
matriarchy?
No, it's just
No.
a courtship.
the rules of courtship.
Oh,
It's
Just like Modern World.
it's
women
structured.
dictates.
It's that's
Got
that's
it.
the way they do it, so that a woman has the ability to set forth tasks. If the suitor can't fit them, it's a nice way of shunning those that she doesn't want.
Oh, I see.
And clearly, just by the tasks that she's picked, she says she's all about Uth and Gar.
Or she's interested in being very impressed.
So
The trial by combat is single-handedly taking out its Rask, so I
Yes.
mean,
For you, it's the trash. For you, kill that squirrel.
that one thing in common.
So, the first task is of craftsmanship. So it is.
Just show her my glaive.
Like, done?
Yep, I want to be like, I'm just going to send her to the library and take a look at this book. This is like the best that I'm going to ever do.
No, that sucks because the craftsmanship must start after the courtship.
Son of a.
You peaked, buddy. You peaked.
Looks like you're making me that hammer after all.
Just hide it. Stow it away somewhere.
I know, yeah.
Well, what do I have here? Oh, this old thing?
Right, so
So,
that's his task.
She says that she will be gone. You guys actually spend some time and draw up the contract, and it's signed by yourself, herself, Gear Grinder as a witness, and then any other dwarf or person of import in town that you feel adds justification and nobility to the actual contract. So I'll let
Obviously,
you-
that's me.
So I was thinking I can go get the mayor to sign it, and maybe the council or whatever.
Okay.
So
Unless you want
he's
to
a
introduce
that-
some Fae to also do that. Sign paperwork.
He's a dwarf as well. You could have him sign.
That is true.
Magic,
But I don't
everything's
think I've
true.
met him yet. So actually, though, I have
let's
just
go
the
ahead.
thing to craft.
Okay.
Because I did have that dragon turtle shell shipped back to Griffin Gaff, and
Yes, you did.
I have a breastplate to make, I believe.
Okay.
That's for me, right?
Yeah, sure. As
for
long as you
her.
fit these measurements.
So after that has been formalized,
Okay.
she is going to go back with Gear Grinder, and she will return, whether Gear Grinder does or not. Whether Gear Grinder does or not, that will be up to him.
Right. Nobody cares. He's always second fiddle to everyone anyway.
Nobody liked the toy man. I don't know.
He's pretty cool.
Just hold on to it.
So,
So when do the tasks get defined?
well, you have to complete the first task
Okay.
before the task of magic gets further.
So what's her task of craftsmanship? Just build me something or something specific?
It's build something.
Bill, yeah, has it.
Impress her.
Ah.
All right, I'll think about it.
Impreza? I see.
Yes,
That's one parked outside.
Make an Impreza.
Make an impressive.
They're a pretty sweet car.
All right. Does anybody else have something to throw in there?
How many days are going by? Just
After you have the thing, you've got 3 days.
okay.
Yeah, what about the thing?
Oh, so you know our hideout.
Yes, the thing that's been greatly overlooked for
Okay.
many, many seconds.
So is most of the area around Griffin Gaff, like if you go down a few feet, it's going to be like more like getting towards stone and stuff like that. It's not. So, like that hideout's in a mountain hill, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to start using stone shape, and I'm going to start making. I'm going to flesh it out a little bit, and I want to kind of make corridors going from the hideout to the glade.
Oh, jeez.
That's kind of far.
Yeah.
But
You can do it. It's just going to take a long
Wouldn't a dig
time.
spell be much more efficient?
Well, I've got stone shape,
Or have an earth elemental.
and then
You-
I can
you
and I
could-
can get earth elemental.
You could hit up Falcor. He can summon an Earth Elemental for you.
I can summon an earth element.
Oh,
Teams of Earth Elementals working around the clock.
You can be an earth elemental, can't you?
Is that,
Not
is
yet.
that a beast?
Oh, that's
What?
at a higher level?
I don't know what level they get.
Oh, you know.
And I wasn't kidding. I am researching and possibly sowing rumors about that fate.
I did not expect you that you were kidding there. I fully assumed that you were looking into that.
Yeah.
Because I got a feeling that I'm gonna find what I want.
He's gonna end up with a horse
or like
head
find a
at the front of
cavern
his
that's
shop
gonna have
in a
something
bag.
cool. Because I want kind of like a crystalline staff bit to attach this Eye of Storms that I have.
Well, what about the Eye of the Storm?
I got it in my satchel bag.
Yeah, I know, but what is it? What is it?
What
It's
is it?
a bound chaos storm that
Yeah.
might control chaos storms.
Hey, David, can you grab my water?
I'll get it.
Well, don't we want to like do a little research as to what it is that we have here? What does it do? What can it do?
Thank you.
Yeah, we should probably do that.
Yeah. And
All right.
you being the nature cleric.
I kind of wanted to just hold on to it, not let it leave my sight.
Okay.
Pet it when no one's looking.
Oh no!
Hey,
I think
this
he's
storm's-
going the route of Arbalase, or not? Of,
Yeah,
of,
Abason?
Abason.
Oh, good. We need another crazy
All right, so
character.
you have managed to find a large enough chunk that if you get someone to properly carve that out or extricate
Oh
it
no,
properly,
I didn't want it to. I didn't want it to be carved. I just wanted to
you want to find an
like
exact
a
staff
pillar of something. It might take a while, but it's very important. I think that it's a pillar that's naturally formed that I can just break off a piece of it.
It's one of your elementals to go pick it up.
Yeah.
Give me one of these.
Okay. Are you looking for like an expensive gemstone, or you just want something that's
No, like,
crystalline?
I think bismuth would be really cool. It like forms all these really cool like squares that all kind of.
What level are you?
Yeah, if you got upside
All right,
stomach, you just break off.
So you can totally become the head level if you want to.
That's fun.
So
Okay.
I don't need it right now. I'm just saying that's what I'm interested in.
Or water element.
So,
All right. So after the first 3 days,
and I'm also excavating like
You can cast ultra stuff.
building while I'm doing this, like with stone shave and all that jazz.
after 3 days, you have made significant progress on getting a pathway built between the two, and you have not yet produced a staff of bismuth.
Okay.
And
And I haven't uncovered any like caverns that will need more people to explore or anything like that. 'Cause I ain't doing it by myself.
Well-
I'm not going to just be like, oh, a giant cavern. I'm sure this doesn't lead to the Underdark. That's safe for me to look around.
no, I mean this is an area that is off of a waterway.
Okay.
So, there's not a whole lot of sturdy underground passages that are out here, which is why it is taking longer.
Okay.
So, you've got about 5 days worth of progress where you're committing every resource of yours, David's, and can you get an Earth Elemental as well? Where was the third thing coming from?
I can be an Earth
He could be
Elemental.
an Earth Elemental.
Oh,
At 10th
already?
level, druids, a Circle of the Moon, can use 2
Wild
wild
shapes.
changes to
Okay.
turn into an elemental of choice.
And
So-
then do you have the ability to summon one as well?
So technically, if you're an elemental, you have a language, you have limbs, you have all the components to cast spells. So the question is, can a Circle of the Moon druid in elemental form cast spells?
I don't see why not.
It's a good
Hey,
sage
that'd be a
advice
topic
question.
for a Nerdarchy video.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know if
You heard it first.
if there's really enough to make that be a video.
I can also conjure a minor elemental, if that counts for anything.
But is minor elemental and conjure elemental both concentration?
I don't know.
I can planar bind an elemental. So if he summons it, I can planar bind it and keep it here for a day.
Oh, okay then.
So basically, you guys could do that once a day and make
And knock
make
it
one
out.
really pissed off Earth Elemental. Get a lot of work done.
You better let me go at the end of these 3 days, or I will cut you with boulders.
How many days is it?
Well, he
said
had 3 days.
3 days.
All right,
And
so
I'm kind of excavating a like.
And you can just summon a
Dungeon
fresh
hangout.
one every day.
Yeah, and so the only natural hazards of this region is Lord Soth. Only drawback.
so how long does planar binding last?
A day. Its duration's 24 hours.
Just concentration up to an hour.
Planar binding.
Conjure minor element.
It takes an hour to cast, but
Yeah, but then you get them for 24.
and it.
No, it's quite expensive.
Yeah,
What, planar binding?
Yeah.
yeah.
Does it?
What's the spell consume?
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's expensive.
So 1,000 a day.
Well, I mean, I could
You could
hire
hire
like 50 workers, but then
at
people
least.
wouldn't know about it. And it's not,
Well.
it's not a secret hideout.
Well, you could just kill them.
Hey,
I have
know,
a giant
you could get
gorilla
some
we can
dwarves.
use too to carry stuff.
And I can entomb them afterwards
Yeah.
so they know who will speak of it. Yeah, so that was my
All right,
thing.
so 24 hours of solid work on this thing is gonna get you most of the way there, and as a side benefit, you know, you've got your staff. So if you do it, you know, 2 of the 3 days, you have got a solid passageway. You probably have, you know, caused some ire in a pair of elementals as you were, you know, force them into.
Why? I bet they eat the gemstone. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But you have your staff, you have your passageway, and you have Earth Elemental
gotta come
Edmonton.
And why don't you guys work on doing that to Griffin Gaff now so we can travel secretly?
In tubes. Well, I think some other people are gonna have to cough up the money for that.
Well, we
Where
could
you
just-
building this?
Oh wait,
access
hold
to?
on. If I cast it with a 6th level slot, it lasts 10 days. Well, wait.
That's the way to do
If I
it.
cast it with a 7th level slot,
It's
it
a
lasts
year.
30 days.
Yeah.
Oh baby, I cast it with a 7th level slot. It doesn't cost any extra money.
Wait, so could the one be named Brick and the other Mortar? Because they're gonna be around for a while.
You don't
I got my
it's
Brick and
one.
Mortars.
Why
No,
not
you-
have
2?
They're gonna be working
Don't need
working in the coal mine.
If they're gonna be angry, you might as well make sure they're really angry.
Yeah.
He's really pissed off now.
I'll make sure they've got diamond dust and stuff to eat. They'll be the best fed earth elementals on this plane of existence.
All right, so for 2 of the days, you guys go through this process. You spend 2,000 gold, and
That's much
you know,
more worthwhile.
You have 30 days worth of work out of 2.
Elemental. I'll figure out how
Three
much.
elementals.
He's got. I'm trying to do this so he's can do other stuff if he wants to.
I don't even know what I'm gonna do.
Oh,
That's
that's all you
whatever.
got. You just had to cast those 2 spells for me.
It's whatever. I don't know.
All right.
You should bind him as well.
when he's transformed, be like, "What am
Hey,
I?
just
what are you
sit here in
doing?
this circle."
Nothing to worry about here. Just sit down. I'm gonna
Relax.
I'm gonna do a picture.
This is gonna be like a foot massage. Now get to work.
That's a good question. Like, is that I have to read Planar Binding and see if
Child labor
Yeah.
at its best.
Yeah.
Well, has he reached 18 yet? Have we gotten far enough along?
My character started at 14.
So
Okay,
at best, he's
then no.
17.
So, all right. Well, you've got your staff. You've got all the passageways. You know, eventually that you're gonna want. Dear Lord.
and elemental shields.
We're gonna have more secret passages than the blood cultists.
At least we can finally hopefully get use of our base then. Now though.
What base?
And I call it
Henri has no idea anything about a base.
Castle
This
Grey
is
Skull.
This is a little side passageway that goes down off to the side and then goes off. So sometime we'll take you to the
So,
base.
so where is the entrance in town going to be from?
We don't have a place in town, do we?
Well, there was
The Chateau Shardgale.
yes, there was
Yeah.
Chateau Shardgale.
This is
but,
my storefront, my shop.
now you have acquired your smithy, right?
I'm in the process, I guess.
Well, there's been time for you to have gotten your own.
We could craft chutes out of all the different places.
And there
we'll
is-
all, like,
There is plenty
to the danger
of,
room.
There is plenty of area, you know, to expand to.
Yeah, so I guess the idea was to do my smithy, but also to move Little Crathan Gulch, which was the Dwarven garrison. So it's right there at the wall.
Okay.
You know, so the dwarves can be where they need to be. Or like, I think the idea was to like build in that portion of the wall to have a sally port.
Okay.
Oh, is the wall finished by now?
Oh, wall's been finished for a
Yeah.
while. Yeah.
Okay.
So when we fall down
I
these
think we
chutes,
should make a roll to see the-
can we go? Can we like fall into costumes as we go down?
That would be ideal.
Yeah.
They probably have to be magic costumes though.
So if you are looking to do this, some of the other dwarves ask if, like, if they put up some money, would there be more forge space, so that they would all be able to have access.
Axe.
Yes, access.
Sorry.
Knowing full well, that this could be, something bigger. This could be something that, the dwarves could have some of their own downtime.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because I had actually gone to the garrison and discussed it with Harak and the guards, in order to free up that space, but also to expand, put us closer to, because the whole original premise was, in the 50 dwarven soldiers that are sent to Griffingaf was in its defense. Well, we'd be better able to defend it near the wall than at the center of the town.
So over the last 2 weeks, then ideas are flying. A lot of the people there, a lot of the dwarves that are there are tossing out ideas, and like, oh, well, why should we limit it to just a smithy? Can we have this? Can we have that?
So instead of just so this is what's going to probably
Scope creep.
happen.
They call this scope creep, man.
Instead of being the garrison Little Crithon Gulch, it's going to turn into like a dwarven part of the town, the city.
So what is foremost amongst the dwarves? They want to call it the Gulch.
Let's see what we're calling it.
Wouldn't that have to like go by the mayor?
Well, they could call it whatever they want.
Well, that's true.
And Hemsworthy is free to say that it's the Gulch Ghetto, like,
Yeah, Gulch Ghetto, nice.
if he wanted to.
Gotta build a wall around the ghetto.
Yeah.
And make the dwarves pay for it. Every time.
Every time.
Now, how many dwarven rap groups are going to start up? They're gonna do raps about living in the ghetto.
They might.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Dwarves don't sing.
So
rap.
yeah, I kind of like that. I
There's
kind of
only
like that
one thing
idea.
that dwarves could possibly sing. Rock.
It's got to be rock. The rock
Trying
and
to-
the roll.
Do that.
So while he hunts for that, and that winds up becoming whatever it becomes. Does anybody else have things that they want to do?
Can I go around town? I'm looking for some diamonds worth 300 gold pieces.
That shouldn't be hard to acquire. There are a couple. What is it? Jeweler? Gemsmith?
Gem cutters.
Gem cutters?
Yeah.
Cutters?
Yeah. So I want to buy 2 of those.
Charlie knows a few.
Lapidarius. Wow.
Lapidarians, that's true.
Lapidarians.
Mm-hmm.
So I seek out some lapidarian gem cutters.
Okay.
I look to buy two diamonds of 300 G value each, but I want to challenge them to like a bet where if I get higher than a 10, I'll pay them 50% more. But if I get lower than a 10, then they pay 50% less. I want to play like a card game.
You want to
I want to
gamble?
gamble with them. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, we'll gamble with you.
Yeah. All right.
He has a special app.
Oh yeah, for my dice rolls. For now.
Alright, so there's a gnome gemsmith who is willing to gamble on this with you.
All right.
And are we talking cards? Are we talking dice? What are we doing here?
What are you feeling lucky with?
Punk.
I always like dice.
Dice it is. Now I travel with a dice set as a
Okay.
dwarf.
Okay.
It's loaded.
Yeah, it's.
Well, it's dwarf. I mean, it's gotta be loaded, right?
So I ask him to state his terms.
No, I mean, you guys, haggle back and forth, and it comes down to let's roll the dice and see what happens.
All right.
So,
I agree.
Out of game, you talked about just a D20 roll. So I mean, let's go with it. And,
All right.
See what happens.
Okay.
So if you get a 10 or under, then you're gonna
I get the
pay.
discount.
Oh, you want to do it that way?
Sure.
Okay. Then 10 or under, you pay 150. 11 or higher, you get you're paying 450.
Yep. 2.
All right.
All right. So I'm paying
So
150.
you're paying 150 for the first one.
All right. I wanna see if he'll go for it again.
All right.
Is he up for it again?
Yeah.
All right. 18. All right.
right,
I
so
paid
you broke
450.
even.
Yep. I'm backing off.
I
I'm
was
backing
like-
off. It was fun. Tell him it was fun, but
That was that was interesting. I mean, we had a negotiation. We
He likes a
chatted.
cigarette. Was it good for you too?
No, I still see that you have all your fingers, as do I. Some more bets.
I'm good. I spent half my money anyway. All right.
Now there's in my mind he's morphing into Christopher Walken. Now I see that you have all your fingers.
I unfortunately have the. I think Christopher Walken. I just think of the ping pong movie.
Yeah. Balls of Fury.
Yeah, so.
So,
If I might, I would like to try and either get made a couple of wands, magic wands.
Okay. Well, magic wands. Like, are you talking about as a focus, or are you talking about like the actual wands that hold spells?
We mean as a focus.
Well, wands are an arcane focus. Out of the. Like, what do you want to do with the wands?
I want to be able to shoot spells out of it.
Okay, so you're looking for an actual legit magic item.
Right, yeah.
We don't generally have magic item shops. Drop a d20, and if you roll a 20, then we can see what happens.
I'll stand next to
Hey,
him.
I hear there's these hags outside of town. They might have something for you.
for a low price.
7.
All right. I gave you a 5% chance.
Well, I don't think 5%. Rolling a natural 20 is 5%. It's like
Yeah, it is.
It's
one.
exactly 5%.
Is it?
Well, 5 times 20 is.
Based on math.
Well, I hate math.
Well, you know what? Math hates you too.
Yeah. The reason I said I stood next to you because then you'd have at least a better chance if you roll a 1 that
Yeah.
you get to roll again.
Okie
I saw that.
dokie.
Yeah.
What else could I possibly want? Or do? Maybe next time. I can't think of anything. I should think of this shit while I'm sitting at home doing nothing.
So we begin building Little Crathan Gulch into the wall.
Okay. Yeah. So like, there's the dwarves are interested in can we make this bigger? Here's a brewery. Here's some smithies. Here's some.
That's like you see one dwarf and you realize before you realize that you have an infestation. You see one, there's like hundreds in the walls.
We send word back to Crathan Gulch. We're gonna need more hammers.
There's definite interest in
brewing.
in that expansion. And well, I mean, you know that your clan likes the brewing stuff as well. So perhaps they could bring this to market here.
We're gonna no. You cannot just simply buy the special brew.
Well, not the special stuff.
The human version of the special.
The stuff you tell
Stuck
everybody
nine?
is the special stuff, and it really isn't.
You just water it down a lot, and then the humans can have it. Well,
Alright.
if no one else will.
You know what? I want to take some, what do you call those glasses that make people nicer? I need to up my charisma.
You're gonna go to charm school?
Yeah, I want to go to charm school
He's gonna go to charm school. He's gonna join Toastmasters.
so I can at least get to a 10.
He's gonna get a makeover.
You have an 8 now, or you
Yeah.
have 9?
He's gonna go on
So-
Oprah
Well,
for
if
a
you take the
makeover.
actor feat, that'll get you 1 point closer.
Or once you get 16, you can take +2 to your charisma as a feat, as your.
Yeah.
Now you're out of
thing.
control.
Yeah, now you're talking crazy.
Hey.
After I get the dwarves set up and they know what needs to be done, I want to go to my special grove where we went and broke the curse, me and Analasalar.
Okay.
And how much time do I have before something's going on?
Well, the clock is ticking.
I don't know what you mean by that, sir.
Well, okay. So I'm going to go off for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And I'm going to fast and meditate
Okay.
on with that which I'm going to make.
Okay.
It may not be the dragon, the dragon turtle armor. I don't know. I'm going to see what I'm looking for divine inspiration. So I will commune with I believe it was like a mountain glade or something like that, with a spring or a pond or something there.
Where you guys stopped the cultists?
We fixed the book. My book. We broke the curse on my book.
Okay. That one. Okay. I wanted to. There's been a lot of curses breaking and.
So it was a place of deep meaning for Uthengar, where,
Okay.
and both in the sense that he was able to break the curse on his book, which is deeply tied to his family and kind of his life focus and goals, as well as building this relationship with his good friend Analasalar. So to him, the place has a very high spiritual meaning as far as
All right,
relationships.
So are you looking
duty.
for spiritual guidance from a role-playing situation, or are you looking for inspiration, as in, what will Ted say will impress, impress the girl? Sally, that's it.
Nah, I think not so much that, because I feel like she's going to want something, like the craft that's going to impress her is going to be something that's kind of like inspired.
Okay.
So I don't know, and I don't know that it's going to be the thing that I was going to make anyway for the Storm Giant that she doesn't know. So I think I'm just going to go out there and meditate from a role-playing standpoint, I guess. Then.
Okay.
He's going to go out there and he's going to fast and meditate for 2 weeks and see what he comes up
I've always
with.
been puzzled by that term because it goes really slow.
What's that? Oh,
Fast.
fast. Yeah.
All right, so apparently now the timetables have been upturned, and now there's a couple weeks of free time, so you guys get a whole heck of a lot done over there with your elementals.
I would like to speak with Analasalar about this heart of the Chaos Storm.
Okay.
What is it?
Are you bringing?
I'll ask Arbaleson to go take a day off from tunnel digging and. Arbaleson, I am very curious about this heart of the storm that we have acquired. I believe that we should know more about it so that we can be able to use it to its fullest potential. Would you take it with us and we could speak to the sage Analasalar? He seems to know so many things. Perhaps he could guide us in our inquiry.
That is a great idea. Did I find that by days 2? Did I find that thing, or did I find the goodie? Okay.
The crystal staff.
Excellent. All right. So I actually have that in a case with me, and they're separate. They're not together yet.
Did we get any closer to actually tracking down the unicorn that we have to go?
That's the other thing.
Have an unfortunate accident.
No research has been done in regards to a unicorn.
Well, he researched the whole sacrificial magic thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was a couple sessions ago.
Yeah, but I haven't gotten any word back from them.
Right. So while we're there, we can talk to him
we'll
about
get an update on that.
Finding unicorns with terminal cancer or something like that.
All right. So,
Wouldn't elves know something?
He is an elf.
Well, he's an elf in a human town. I'm talking about elves in an elven town.
Right. At
Courtship.
what he said. How do you spell
Bless you.
However it sounds. Car. SHIPATHION.
Okay.
That's how I've spelled it. Whether that's actually accurate or not.
Accurate. It's your world. Y'all's world.
You'll get 3 different spellings for sure.
Okay. Well,
we had 3 different 3 different spellings for Gryffindor for a long time.
Right, and 2 of them are mine. So
I believe it's Kashav actually.
Because
well, I kept thinking
I can go to wherever
Carthage.
town I came from. I mean,
Well, yeah, you're from Courtship.
yeah, so. And research it, too.
Okay. So you guys seek audience with Analasalar. There must have been something going on. He was not immediately available, as he usually is. But after about an hour or so, you guys are led back to his study. So what?
And we'll invite the mayor too, in case he wants to be with us.
Okay. Do you wish to?
Yeah, I'll go. I've been enjoying the pleasures of life because I know there was talk of maybe going to deal with Narcitus for good and once for all. So I'm making sure to definitely get in my my indulgences while I still can, just in case.
And every time you're out of the city for even a day, paperwork piles up that needs your perusal or signatures or what have you.
I'm
So-
sure that I've invented a stamp. Or had one.
No, I'm not kidding. If you can make a better outfit, especially out of that cool silk that we found in the spider's lair,
Oh, I will one up. I'm going to 10 up.
I'll be happy to. Henri will be happy to purchase an outfit.
don't you just sometimes wish you still had the doppelganger?
To make him do it? Or to take out the...
Paperwork.
Oh,
Paperwork.
or the paperwork. Or take out the pixie.
He did a much better job anyway. He did get you guys annexed.
True.
And nobody has looked into how or why.
Well, don't we have that document that the king signed?
Oh, it's legit. It was done. We just don't it doesn't make sense.
It's there's nothing attached to the document to say how the accords were made. And the only person who could say with absolute certainty how those negotiations or conversations went is now dead.
Well, and the king.
Well, true. If you wanted to go get the King of Dragoric.
Yeah, let's just ask him to come visit. And we'll talk about that.
Dralic, not Dragoric.
Dralic. Anyway, and Lassalar.
What is Drangoric? I like that.
I think that was another thing that I made up a while ago. You like Dragoric?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Put it down into the tomb.
Maybe that's the name of the king. Does the king have a name?
Drangoric.
There you go.
There you go, King Dragoric.
King Dracoric of
Of
Dralic.
Jolly. Double D. Is
Yeah.
Thomas Dragoric, the 17th.
Big D. Big double D.
So, what brings you to my study today, gentlemen?
We have many questions, and we would like to benefit from your greater knowledge and intelligence.
What do you know about unicorns that have suicidal unicorns, for all intents and purposes?
Well, as you know, the fourth, we have successfully obtained 3 of the 4 necessary ingredients for the ritual, but the last one is
a little morbid, if you will.
finding a unicorn that will sacrifice himself.
It is indeed the challenging aspect, I would imagine. I have not done any research on the whereabouts of any specific unicorns, but I do know that there are areas of the Feywild that they might be able to be found, and I could guide you and your companions to such a location. I'm certain warnings need not be said about how dangerous the Feywilds can be.
Actually, I could use stand with some warnings. I've never ventured into the Feywild of all places.
Well,
Dealings with the Fey never go as expected.
Says a drow.
As your companion here says, you are dealing with Fey, and you are dealing with things that are wild. The Fey are...
I could have surmised that from the word combination for it, but
you asked for warnings. So you are dealing with those that are more chaotic. They are used to not being bound by, shall we say, societal laws.
So, Ace and Shardgale, an entire plane of Ace and Shardgales.
Well, that is one way of citing it.
No, he didn't have any sight, actually.
He did at one point.
Or all sides.
So,
So you think that we would find this unicorn in the Feywild?
I think you're going to have a better chance there than just traversing.
Where do the emo depressed unicorns hang out? That's what you really need to know.
I
Why don't
imagine-
y'all look into whether you have to actually kill it or just maybe there's some other way?
Well,
Like maybe just
one
some
of the
its
previous
blood or-
conversations, I believe, with Analasalar, you did find out that killing a unicorn will not function. You must find a unicorn that is willing to sacrifice itself.
Yeah.
I'll ask Analasalar, like, if there's any tales or stories of unicorns that have given their life, like, that. Basically, I'm looking for prior precedent if this is a thing that happens.
You know, I have not. I've not been pouring my time towards this. I'm certain that you know, we could spend a little bit of time trying to see whether this type of thing, you know, has happened before in some way, shape, or form. I imagine that, you know, should you find a unicorn of a proper temperament, and you convince them of the nobleness of this cause, that it shouldn't be entirely challenging to do. It just, the challenge is going to be finding a unicorn that's willing to do this. They are, you know, bastions of things that are good and holy, and this spear is the antithesis of that.
We shall see. It's a challenge to get something to give its life up.
So is it something that you would be willing to spend your precious time looking for?
There are many duties here within a library that press on my time. I could spend some of mine and
It's only the
inquire.
safety of the entire known world.
I do understand, and there are only so many hours in a day, but I will definitely set some of my time towards it and see who else here I might be able to glean more information. But it is only what is within these books. There is not everything in the known world
But of course.
within them.
Would we? My colleague Terrace here has mentioned that he has come from a city of elves. Would they perhaps know more about this thing?
There are scholars there. It is my hometown as well, home city, and I'm certain that there are scholars there that would know more than I in regards to the natural and fey creatures. So perhaps a journey there might be able to guide you better than here.
How does one get to the Feywild?
There are areas where one can pass in the most wild areas. And as I said, I think that there are. I could draw you a map and point you towards the right location, but you have to go deep into the forest where civilization has not had any sway, and there are those kind of areas that one can pass into the wilds.
Speaking of things which are wild and chaotic, do you remember the chaos storm that afflicted the town just the other day?
Absolutely. Everyone I have spoken to was worried that it was yet another thing that was bringing about doom to this town.
There seems to be a lot of that going around these days.
And you noticed how it so suddenly stopped.
It was indeed a crazy occurrence.
Was there is a reason?
I'm going to
Cue Arbalason.
I'm going to take out my satchel bag and set it down and then take back the top. and show him what's inside.
We have a tempest in a crystal teapot.
That is most intriguing.
That is the heart of the Chaos Storm. And so Henri, with help from his colleagues, will tell Arbelason basically last session in Reader's Digest condensed form. No, in 4 hours. He's got plenty of time. I don't, we're both elves. We got plenty of time. It'll take a few days to tell it.
Yeah.
We'll speak in Treant.
I don't know whether he knows Trent.
Well, certainly Henri doesn't.
At the end of the 4 days, they only realize that they're not orcs.
Not orcs. So with that explanation, perhaps Analasalar will have some insight.
So he seems trepidatious about it. He actually is not willing to actually touch it like Arbelason did. So
I've
he
touched it and everything's been fine.
well, he's not willing to. So yeah, he does a
The
quick.
long-term effects of it have not been studied.
It's true.
He does a quick gesture, and a hand appears underneath the the teapot.
Oops.
And
Cups
it begins floating towards him. Yeah, so he reaches into a fold in his voluminous robes and pulls out a couple objects, one of which is a gemstone of some value, and he begins like mouthing words. You're not certain whether he's casting or whether he's having a conversation that's just not verbalized. It's a very, very weird experience.
And while he's doing that, I'm going to take out my beautiful staff and set it down.
So it takes several minutes. At first you're thinking that he's probably doing what you've seen the Isla Seer or Uthengar doing a simple identify spell, but it seems like he's getting into a deeper ritual that is lasting, like I said, longer than. But there is definitely some repeated gestures, so maybe he's doing it multiple times to.
Scratching his head,
You're not certain whether he's like repeated the process to see whether it's creating the same results.
I'm just sorry. It's like, I did exactly the same thing, and it's never the same results on a chaos storm. Okay, that makes sense.
So he's like, this is incredibly intriguing. It is, as you have called it, the eye of the storm, and as you may surmise, it does hold sway and power over chaos storms, which to many folk of this world could be an incredibly profitable thing.
In what way?
Well, there are those that chase these storms, for in its wake it can make changes to areas, leaving behind valuable materials. Chaos is just that. You never know what it's going to hold. And there are those that have traveled through this town numerous times, before or after a chaos storm, prospecting its wake, gleaning profits and chasing the chaos and the crazy, hoping that they will become richer for it. And if this has the ability to call forth the storm. Problem is that it is chaos. If it is used, there is a chance that it will disappear.
used to summon a storm.
Yes.
Okay.
So mechanically,
Yeah.
it allows you to summon a storm. Every time that it is summoned, you roll a d20. If you roll the number that's targeted or lower, it disappears. Every time you use it, the number is incremented by 1.
And we don't know what the number is.
It's gonna start at 1.
Ah, okay.
So at best possible scenario, you can summon it 20 times. Worst case scenario, you drop that natural 1 the first time.
Once.
It's done. So always 10 extra ride if you're gonna.
So pretty much, pretty much.
And that's for controlling chaos storms.
Yes.
If we wanted to control a chaos storm.
And call.
If you wanted to call a chaos storm.
Or rather, call. And besides, hoping that it makes things interesting and looking at the pretty colors, is there any reason to... So the only reason to call a chaos storm, as far as we
Cause
know,
chaos.
is for prospecting.
Calls chaos, prospecting, pretty much.
Okay. Although we're going to the Feywild, which is a place of chaos. What happens if you put a chaos storm in the Feywild?
There's a chaos storm in the Feywild.
Do the chaoses
What do
cancel
you
out?
think I've been...
Things
I
become
had-
very
I had
rigorous
quite a
and
vision
structured,
of...
actually. In
What I-
Like a Mordron shows up?
The mic's not going to hear multiple conversations.
Yeah. I had quite a vision of what I wanted to see this become. I believe it should be the head of a staff.
Okay.
And I have found a lovely natural mineral deposit of quite organized structure that I wanted to affix this to.
Now, currently, it's a swirling mass, and you have it in something.
I basically took some crystals, shaped them around it with, I don't know what's that, stone-shaped spell. I figured it could legitimately do that since I used a higher material that was also stone.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I shaped it around into different, crystalline patterns
Alright,
on it.
so you've got this see-through
Yeah,
crystal.
multi-level crystal prison.
It has 20 sides, and it kind of flickers.
Well, actually, it's a lot of different geometric patterns and things, which happen to be many of the D&D dice. Because they fit. Several of them fit in each other. So, that's what I got it all bound up in. So, I'd like to combine these two together, but I do not have much knowledge in the ways of making magic things. So, but
Staff of prismatic power.
could be.
Staff.
I'm making a prismatic orb.
It's a staff of wonder.
I might be able to do something like that for you. I would need you to leave the stuff here. I would hope that by now you would trust me with such.
Oh, of course I trust you with such.
You fool! And just give him the dagger and the staff, too.
You mean the spear?
Yeah, the spear. Wherever that is.
Yes. Attach the orb to the spear.
Yeah!
Blood chaos magic.
Nice.
So I will leave it to you for right now, and let me know if you ever need of anything. Perhaps we can see how we can make this happen.
Okay. So is there anything else that you would ask of me while you have my presence?
No, there's other things that we must attend to.
Important matters of state and whatnot. I have a foot rub and a glass of wine chilling for me.
What about you, David? Is there anything you want to do in town?
Not really.
You gonna chill with the earth elementals?
You
Were
can
you,
talk to them
growing
about.
a tree or something?
Yeah, but that already grew.
No.
Talk to the Earth Elementals how you're oppressed by that elf right there.
So write down primordial on your list of languages.
I'm going to craft a tattooer's kit.
Okay.
That makes sense.
One that is one that will act as a receptacle for magic.
Okay. Are you using any special materials?
Of course.
So you're not making her a slave girl Leia outfit, is what I'm hearing.
No, no.
Wow,
Well,
what a wasted
that'll
opportunity.
show off her tattoos, though.
Yeah.
It would show off the tattoos.
Would.
I think she's actually a Star Trek fan, though.
All right. So, is there anything else that anybody wants to do?
I think we will just, if the map's been drawn for us,
Yeah, we need
at a
to
certain
go.
point we'll talk about maybe going for a Fey trek, the next generation.
Okay.
Yeah, we need. Once he comes up with where we can go in the Feywild and the results of his research, then we should get ready and roll. Especially if the Feywild. I mean, I presume that it would be the borders between our reality and the Feywild would be thinnest somewhere near.
Courtship.
Yeah.
Somewhere near Mark.
Somewhere near Mark. Right over his shoulder there.
Put an X on Mark.
Well, probably near the grove where the spirit is.
Yeah.
What is that place? I forget the name of it.
I don't know.
The Guardian.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you watched that episode already?
I have not.
Oh,
It's
okay.
before episode whatever I'm on, 14.
And you're watching them in a reverse order?
Well, now I'm doing both.
Ah.
I'm on episode 4 and 14, and hopefully I'll meet eventually.
I don't
That's kind of weird.
A lot to go through.
Are you doing it in double time? Like
I am.
speeding it up? Yeah.
He's a-
I hear we're more enjoyable that way.
yeah.
All right.
His voice goes from like low thunder to hearable.
All right. So you guys mill about in town for a little while. Thanos, has to wind up being pulled away from the Earth Elementals. Seem to enjoy their company, and when he's in his human guise or human form, you have to remind him several times to actually speak common. He spent several weeks speaking in nothing but the grating, garbling language of the Earth Elementals, and seemed to really have a knack for it. So, till that wears off, you have a predilection towards speaking in that tongue.
And would you stop eating rocks? You can't digest them, honestly.
It's a big red rocky.
Now, you guys spent some time looking for Uthengard, and when you actually inquire, he had said that he had. Did you find that some of the dwarves say that he actually went out on some kind of bizarre pilgrimage?
Vision quest.
But eventually, he does return. So, you guys are gathered.
Mm-hmm.
Converse.
You can't tell us what to do.
I absolutely can. See this? I'm the world's okayest DM.
You're the boss of us. Wait.
So what have you learned?
Nothing.
We have to go to
Excellent.
Carpathian.
Well, no, we could just go into
Fine.
the Feywild and take our chances there.
Why not go to Carpathia and find out where in the Feywild?
Hmm.
I mean, it's not like the Feywild is a city block.
I don't know how big this stupid non-existent place is. Imagine.
We need a sage that specializes in unicorns. Nothing but unicorns.
So we have spoken with
A real brony finder.
There we go. We're at the Brawling Brony Tavern.
I believe if we found someone who is that interested in unicorns, they would not be interested in having us meet one.
We need to find someone who's really into unicorn fairies.
So
A fairy sage.
by the time he returns, has Analaslar come up with a location for us to go to?
Yes,
Where was that?
he has drawn you a map,
Okay.
and as Dave pointed out, it's actually fairly fairly close to where the guardian would be. That's where I was.
So we spoke with Analasalar, and we fill in Unthengard about our travails.
Okay.
And the awesome concert that Henri gave. Farewell concert. He's on tour now. He had to say farewell to all of his adoring fans. Almost all.
Did Lyndon make that outfit for you? It looks quite smashing.
Oh, it's magnificent.
It's a bit flashy and garish. I mean, honestly, it's a little
It's
bit
the
tough.
latest fashion. It's avant-garde.
It's so late. It's in the future and therefore just way ahead of its time.
You're being very harsh to yourself, Lyndon. I think it's really good work.
Oh no, he did not make this.
It's very okay. It's very
He did it,
honestly
but it looks so
alright.
good.
I have challenged him to make something as good as this, but he has not risen to the occasion.
So who
Oh,
made
I'll
it?
make something. I'll make something. All right.
Who made it?
Ah, let me tell you. There is a magnificent tailor beside yourself. He's a pixie.
He's a peck.
No, he's a fae.
Oh, Pixie. Perhaps he knows the pixies that we encountered.
Perhaps you should talk with him. He will make you a magnificent outfit like mine, although not like mine.
Or was he one of those pixies?
No. He's 3'9". Pixies are like this big.
Oh, I thought you said he's a pixie.
He did say that. But he's not.
Pixelex. His name is Pixelex.
Oh. Does he have wings?
Yes.
He does.
They're glorious.
They're glorious.
They are.
And his models are beautiful.
Wait a minute.
A downright pixie bagger is what he is.
So you're saying he's a pixie? It must have took him a long time with those little hands.
There is magic
Tiny
in every
hands.
stitch.
Tiny hands.
Magic? What kind? What does it do? Does it do something?
I
Change
definitely
everything?
cast detect magic to see if there's magic in every stitch.
It glows.
In every
There is. There's absolutely magic in every single stitch.
Yes, I know. I would not have spent so much on this if it had not been.
Some people need magic to make their craft. Some people.
So what does it do?
What is my beautiful outfit? Well, you do not see me wearing the heavy.
What kind of magic does it emanate?
Illusion, probably.
There's definitely illusion. There's a little bit of enchantment. Yeah.
The illusion coming off of there, and the enchantment as well.
So you're saying it
What a
acts as
perfect
armor?
blend.
Yes, it does.
Some of my glaive.
So Henri.
He just put his glaive in his hand.
Thinks the proof is in the pudding.
Can I?
think.
I'm not going to skewer you, but I want to see if it'll go through.
I would like to see this as well. Have at it.
Do I have to roll?
No, I mean
I'm letting
you're just poking at him. The fabric doesn't cut, and you're meeting resistance that you would attribute to like hardened leather.
Yeah, he's not wearing anything that even remotely resembles armor. He's wearing a very fancy, fluffy outfit, complete with
So I
cravat
push a little harder.
and lace.
Ow!
He's now pushing hard enough that it's actually causing discomfort. I don't know where you're drawing the line.
Do not mar Henri's perfect
Oh,
flesh.
But there is more. Allow me. Use your glaive. You are very accurate. Are you not? Cut right here. Use, but not the arm, just the fabric. The lace. Cut the lace off my wrist.
Okay.
Or try.
So
make a slice through it. Do not cut it off. Just slice it.
You cut at it, and you're accurate in your swing, and the fabric just moves along. Your glaive is sharp enough that it should have cut right through the fabric. It's cloth, silk. It should be easy.
At this point, Lyndon sneak attacks on her.
I think the rumor I saw is something like that. This tailor had made pact with the devil or something like that. He's a warlock.
But the fabric doesn't cut.
Blood cultist.
Blood
Oh,
cultist.
okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is.
I start
very well
planning.
done.
How much did you have to pay for it?
A gentleman does
Dead
not
Evans.
speak of such things, but enough.
Between me and you, because I know you ain't a gentleman.
I'm offended.
Yeah. Whatever.
Let us say that it was a grand purchase.
More than 200?
A grand
Off
wink,
by
wink,
a factor
wink
of
purchase.
By a factor of 20, in fact.
So you're saying it was 2,000?
No, that would just be 10. 20.
4,000?
More.
Keep it.
That looks great.
Doesn't stop bullets. What's going on here?
What is this bullet of which you speak? Oh, sling
Blaze.
bullets.
Magic
Absolutely.
Blaze. Does it stop blaze?
Yeah.
That's an important
Sling
question.
bullets, yes. Sling
Blaze
bullets,
launched by a catapult.
yes. The dagger that the mayor wants to stab into my back? Perhaps.
No, probably not.
So the Feywild, is that you were saying we must go there?
That is what we were told by the sage Analassalar. He has given us a map. See here. We must go past his hometown in Karshapathion to the great guardian tree. Near there, somewhere, there is a weakness in the fabric of reality, and we may pass into the Feywild.
Speaking of weak fabric, just right there, it seems there's a frayed thread right there.
It's really small. You can
It
barely
is,
see
so
it, but
it's
it's there.
It's there.
Your envy is very small of you.
He's going to have a complex by the end of this adventure.
Making small jokes with the halfling.
That makes sense. Perhaps we can stop in and see the Guardian while we're at it. Did we consult him? No. Oh, I feel like we did, but
Who is this guardian of which you speak?
he's an ancient spirit that lives in the forest. He's very primordial.
Ander had talked about it, but he wandered off when you guys were in the other.
Yeah, I always wonder what happened to that chap.
You guys seemed to
Better friends probably would have tried to figure that out.
Is this guardian someone with whom we would speak regarding the blood demon and how to stop him?
Yes, he. You could kind of say he owes us a favor.
Or is this so? That sounds like a story. I love stories.
Hey, maybe this favor could be telling us where we can find a clinically depressed unicorn.
The emo unicorn.
Not funny.
But he would
funny.
probably be able to give us some insight. He is a spirit of the forest and a fey creature himself.
What are we waiting for?
All right, we head off.
You have your axe?
I do.
Of course.
I hold the way we go.
And you, where have you come from, my good dwarf? Well met.
Well met
Oh, that's right, they
indeed.
haven't met.
There you go. A fellow
Well met
dwarf.
indeed.
Oh, yeah, I
Egad.
can't really
I've
tell
heard
them
much about you. And,
now that there's two, I can't really tell them apart.
If there was three, we could play a 3-card Monty.
I've got a glowing sword, so.
Oh, that's
There you go.
interesting.
He has a glowing axe. There you go.
Well, his axe doesn't glow. It's made of stone.
Okay. He's
Wait,
got a
my
stony
longsword?
axe. And, no, he has a stone axe and you have a glowy sword.
Yeah.
Wasn't always made of stone.
It has been since he's seen you.
Well, true.
You got caught in a chaos storm?
Fighting a chaos beast, actually.
There you
Yeah. That's how my sword got magic.
So, are we going to take our visitors there?
Is that what you want to do?
Absolutely.
I just imagine when we jump on those things, it's like the grasshoppers from A Bug's Life.
Let's ride!
Basically.
Oh, you don't know. When the party was in the Underdark fighting, beholders and stuff, they don't have horses, so apparently there's this gecko bat spider thing
Oh gosh.
that serves as mounts, and we got a few, and mine's a designer one, of course.
How did you purchase them or bound them to you?
Purchase them.
They're
Okay.
trained. They're like Underdark horses.
They're housebroken.
With wings
Yeah.
and
With
spider
wings
legs.
and spider legs. That sticks to walls like a gecko. And a tongue.
They seem extremely valuable on the surface world.
They seem extremely strange, I'd imagine. On the surface. But, yes.
Especially when there's a small squadron of them.
Flying. Aces high.
We're flying in a V formation. Right?
Flying V.
There you go.
It's a superior way to fly.
So are you on a visitor, Dave, or do you pull out your mount?
No, I ride
Now, where
Boris.
is your your pig? And where are our? What about Mr. Mimic?
Oh, he's been around.
Just been hanging out.
Yeah, he's kind of been quiet lately.
Since Aislin's left, he's taken over the manor.
That's true. Could be.
So it's up to you guys as to whether or not you want him to travel or stay here in town.
Probably should leave him in town.
Yeah.
I'm sure he won't get into too much trouble.
No.
Now,
The
boy,
entire
don't
time.
eat anyone while we're gone.
I have him guard the mayor's residence.
There we go.
It's a very important job. And I have servants polish him, like with wood oil.
Nice.
He likes that like a belly rub.
Let's creep out the room.
Yeah.
It's like a belly rub from head to toe.
I'll
You're
leave
gonna tell him
Major
that
at the shop.
the chest comes to life before you tell him. I want this chest polished every day.
I'm debating. It could be funny, but
Wow. You come back to find that there's stories that he keeps imitating your chair, and they don't know which one's which. So he kept spooking them.
All right. Do you need to make any arrangements with your bounty hunter corporation?
No, I leave. Hell are their names? Jasper and Senslin in charge, and I'll leave Major in their care.
Okay.
Because I don't think he's old enough to go out fighting stuff yet.
Okay.
So you begin your journey. You know that after as you set out, that you will be within, a day's ride of Carchapatheon, if you should wish to go there, or you could head straight towards the Grove. What do you guys wish to do?
Carchapatheon.
I think we should go to the Grove, but that's just my opinion.
I think the Grove, if perhaps the Guardian will have answers for us and save us a trip to a snooty elven city.
I think perhaps we should at least ask for permission to be there.
Is that a thing?
I think that's probably a thing for elves.
And who do you ask?
Probably my uncle.
A
or
leaf.
something.
Just a leaf.
And okay.
So
What do you think, Ted? Would that be a legit thing? Or do you think we could just pass by?
It's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. You know that there are probably some people, elves can be snooty, that if they know you did it and whatnot, they might get irked. Well, there's others that are as equal power that would say that you guys are on a
Mission from God.
I wouldn't say mission from God, but you were on a mission of import.
Noble quest.
I'll send them a letter with my house seal and stuff like that, and I'll send that to who I think should be notified that we are going to be there.
Okay.
And that'll be good enough.
All right. So you're able
I'll
to
tell me, da.
What? You tell your da.
Pops, I'm going to stop by the
Owen
Red
has
Grove.
very mixed feelings. I mean, there's taverns to perform in, but then again, I don't know how well he'd be received in a city full of high elves.
Well, the typical drow to surface elf is not the same in our world as it is, in the typical fantasy world. But there is still some, severance, some.
It's not kill on first sight animosity?
Correct.
Oh, that's reassuring.
Second sight, actually.
Okay.
They won't be like, oh my God, you need to die because you're a drow. You've been to the surface world before and it hasn't, gone, horrible and terrible for you. So, that you got a chance to convince your case. You're traveling with, people of import in the area.
Well, I don't even know if they'll notice my skin color, considering the quality of my outfit. The cut of my jib, as it were.
Very nice.
I say, I like the cut of your jib, boy.
Thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, so you guys begin your trek. You know that it's going to be several weeks.
Cool. That means it's been a month.
What is that?
I've been reading my book every day.
Yeah, was Arid able to procure a charisma book? Or what do you call that?
A tome of charisma. You know, things are laying around.
How to win friends and influence people. Dale Carnegie.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. How to get along with difficult people.
What to expect when you're expecting. Why am I reading this?
What you're asking is even harder to acquire than wands. But
Christ's sake.
if you're looking for a book of negotiations and that kind of stuff, yeah, there's plenty of that kind of stuff. But a book to magically increase your charisma, yeah, those are really, really powerful.
Well, if you want to justify either learning the actor feat or having your charisma go up, you can. Omri would be very happy to give you etiquette lessons.
He's got you walking around with a book on your head, walking around in heels.
For the next 2 levels. And in return, you can teach him something. I don't know.
We'll see.
So we'll say that some of that is, been
What
discussed.
languages do you speak, by the way?
Common, Elven, Goblin, Dwarven, and Undercommon. And
I don't
these
speak
can't.
Goblin. Well, you teach me Goblin, and I'll teach you etiquette. There you go.
So he'll learn diplomacy. Nice.
Well, something.
All right. So on your trek, your travels, you know that there's areas of this land that are patrolled, some by the rangers and warders that you guys have actually set up and are kept, barren of evils and threats. So you know that there's many days travel that there will not be any real chance of danger. The area has been quite secure for a while, probably since the hobgoblins were run off, defeated, however you want to phrase it. Did I say? Yeah, Knolls. My apologies.
We'll drink to that.
But as you actually get, into the thick of your journey, you begin approaching the massive forest off to the northeast of town, in which the Grove and Carshapantheon exists.
There are so many trees. I have never seen such before.
It is entirely massive, and several days into the forest, the trees become much larger, and there is such a canopy that it blocks out most of the sunlight.
That's much better.
The woodland creatures, they scurry without fear of the travelers below. When you're used to, normally someone walks by and things take off, but so close to the heart of the elven forest, these creatures are far more at ease, far more respected. What?
I almost think it feels unnatural compared to my grove. All these happy creatures.
You should be loving it.
Don't know
That's great.
Wondering where the wolves are. I'm kind of looking around.
You're looking for wolves, huh?
Yes.
That's where you found that one.
I just kind of feel like a little off because it seems more, kill or be killed. I think down in our neck of the woods.
Well, here it is, far more serene. Thank you. There does not seem to be the normal, sign of any actual natural predator.
I'll say, would you fancy a pheasant for dinner?
Sure.
So I see my chuck a dagger at it, sneak attack. Oh, here we go.
Your poison dagger?
Well, I don't think he wants to use a poison dagger on something they're going to eat.
But you can eat it.
Oh, this would be delicious. Here, just if you could just clean it up and feather it.
I'm not a cook.
Oh, I thought you were gonna cook it. I mean,
He just said he would fancy one for dinner.
I just said I fancy one for dinner.
well, I'm not.
He's a vegetarian.
You know that it's definitely not a good sign. You know, this has been killed. If it's not eaten, it's going to be a definite problem for things in this area.
Why are you looking at him? Someone needs to eat.
The dire peasant of legend.
Well, I mean, you know how to do this, right, Hemsworthy?
Yes.
You're skilled with a dagger.
I can do it.
He just didn't want to get messy.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone will help you get.
It's okay. I will help you out. So we're like at a rest stop or something?
Yeah.
Rest stop, a resting point?
Yeah,
A rest
we're
stop.
the trucker.
Like the text.
Yeah, there's a filling station for the
Filling
visitors
station.
over there.
All
And you're like, hey, can I get $1.35? I ran out of gas. So
There's some guy on the
No,
corner.
you don't want to get gas in these things.
So yeah, well then I'll spend a minute, have my unseen servant come up and instruct the unseen servant to pluck the chicken.
Pheasant.
Pheasant.
Well, you mind if I have those feathers?
It's a,
They're
it's
so
a pleasant-
masterfully plucked.
It's actually a mother of other unseen servants. So it's a pleasant mother pheasant plucker.
I see. Your wordplay is astounding.
Or mother
Okay,
plucker if you like.
that works very well. No muss, no fuss. Good. Well, I have my seasonings. We'll make this.
I am not a
Wait,
chef
no.
though.
I have some things. One who likes to eat should know a little bit about making some food on occasion.
You're no gourmand though, are you?
I am no gourmand. No. I'm not gonna knock it up a notch. Bam.
So, the forest certainly quiets down after the
The assassin's blade.
after the pheasant flops to the ground with a dagger through it.
No, it's the law of the jungle. That'll be the song it plays. Welcome to the jungle.
Bringing a little bit of reality back in this nature glade.
Yeah, I thought it'd be funny to do. So.
It is.
Yeah.
So, as you guys are sitting around the fire, consuming or not consuming as you please.
I just took the feathers.
I'm setting up my hammock.
Okay.
That's how I sleep.
I'm
setting
enjoying
up
some
my-
country fried pheasant.
Ulfgar's abstaining. He knows he doesn't trust elves enough to, eat something out of their forest.
KFP.
I reach into my backpack for rations.
Yeah, I'm not eating that.
I'm definitely eating it. I've eaten Lyndon's cooking before. It's quite good. And especially, you know what? He's going to need his ego and his confidence boosted a little bit. He might need a little bit. I need a backup profession.
Wow.
So,
Now that he's been put out of business by a superior company.
He's going down.
so I feel it's my duty as his friend to enjoy the pheasant.
I can't believe he let them get a license to sell clothes in this city.
That's true. License and inspection.
Yeah.
Just make it illegal for another.
He bribed the
host
other
place.
councilman.
So, who wants the neck?
So,
Oh, yes, that's the best part.
during
Take the leg and the thigh.
during your meal, a couple of you notice stepping out from the trees an elf with robes of forest green, kind of just materializes between a couple of trees.
Greetings, my lady.
The guy.
I'm just gonna.
Oh, my bad.
Uncle Ted.
His gender.
I'm just gonna alter himself a little bit, get some pointy ears going on.
Look more elf than elf.
Exactly.
I'll greet him in Elven.
Welcome to our humble camp.
Greetings, travelers. What brings you into the forest this fine eve?
Just finding some pleasantry and pheasantry, as it were.
They're not happy with you.
He does not seem perplexed by it.
Yeah, also, speaking elf, we have returned to pay a visit upon one of our friends of the forest.
And,
Perhaps you know him.
I have known many of the forest dwellers. What friend is it that you come to seek?
We seek the spirit guardian of the grove.
And if you allow my continued questioning, what business might you have with him, or with?
Well, before we go any further, we should have the introductions. And so, I am Henri Jean-Jacques d'Ambrenoir. I did not catch your name.
Well, that's because I did not tell it. I am Ariane.
Ariane.
Ariane, I am Lord Lyndon Hemsworthy of Gryffindor.
Well, greeting, Master Ariane. I am Uthengar of Clan Blackiron.
In Dwarvish, I say, I guess Ulfgar is the same in both. And then in common, I say, my name is Ulfgar. Greetings.
I'm Fanus.
Ariane?
Ariane.
No, that's his name.
That's my name, too.
Jingleheimer.
I was about to say it. Yeah, Ariane Jacob Jinglehammerschmidt.
I am Taurus Tivaris.
Greetings.
Arbale, son of the House Mudan, and I emphasize house because he only gave us his first name pretty much, or his nickname. I don't know. He didn't say.
But it is, as I stated, the guardian is a friend of ours, and we seek his counsel.
So after you two introduce yourself, he passes a very typical, long-winded, meaning like a sentence of, proper Elven greeting.
I acknowledge that and give the reply.
He turns to you, and you completely understand, but he seems to.
He's like, Varus owed me money.
No. He turns to David, to Thanos, and the rest of you hear like leaves rustling and some bird calls, and
Speaking in Druidic.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's funny, it doesn't look
Hey,
Druid.
I speak.
So he speaks to you the language of the forest, asking to which circle you belong, and it's obvious that you are of the same ilk.
That's the moon one, right?
Yeah.
Alright, that one.
He just puts his butt
Just
out.
be like, where Ankylosaurus? I belong to the circle of the where Ankylosaurus.
He drops his pants. He's a
He
moon
drops his
druid.
pants and drops his breeches and leans over.
I'm a moon.
So he, in reply, he just kind of points towards the ground, and again, you guys are hearing, forest sounds kind of come out of his mouth, but the tree roots that are near his feet, they just kind of swell a little bit, and you gather that he is circle of the land.
Does that mean I have to fight him now?
Mortal Kombat style. Mortal Wombat style.
Turn into a wombat and go for the eyes.
Go for the eyes, boo.
No, this ain't the old edition where you had to, fight for your levels.
Yeah.
There's only one way to become Hierophant. It's by killing the former Hierophant.
That's right.
True.
I lean into Lyndon. I think the boy spent too long changing into them animals. He's starting to sound like them now.
Have we intruded into your
I do.
Territory.
I do apologize. It has been a while since I have conversed with a fellow druid. I meant no offense.
Oh, is that what you guys were doing? I've never seen him talk like that before.
Sounded kind of squirrely.
So, if, as you surmise, this is an area, it is wrong of me to say that I claim it. I am a mere guardian, and when those come in, I'd like to have words. Hopefully it only stops at that.
Women, no arm.
Arm?
Arm.
Arm.
Well, hopefully you've been assuaged.
I am pleased to know that there are others who have made friendship with the guardian spirit.
You do know this is the hero of Gryffindor, and I point to Lyndon Helmsworthy.
And
One that murdered the bird.
Myself and the Guardian, we're like this.
We once got his cat out of a tree.
What, gun in his hair?
We once got a corruption out of his tree.
That did happen.
True story.
I have never been to the town of Gryffindor. My home is here.
Oh, I love what you've done with the place.
You know what they say, home is where you hang the helm.
Lovely.
So if you will allow, I will join you for your sup, and we can break bread.
Sure. Would you like some pheasant? They came out quite well.
That is.
This is like the everlasting pheasant. He fed like an army off this one.
I went for a
Well,
family.
to my knowledge, I think only 3 of you have had it. So.
Loaves and pheasants.
He threw one dagger, but like 16 of them died.
You know, like my sneak attack's pretty potent.
Yeah.
At this point.
Didn't kill just the pheasant, it killed the pheasant's entire family.
Lineage.
Yeah. It started raining
Should have
pheasants.
seen how big the pheasant was.
I invented a spell.
It was a dire
Pheasant
pheasant.
Just swarm. Certainly. So if we'll share our rations with Ariane.
So he actually.
Or lembas bread. Stuff like that.
So he actually does have stuff that he shares. His food is definitely more of the ilk that Thanos favors: nuts, berries,
Elks?
vegetables.
Not elks. Okay.
So he tries to coax out of you guys what your business is with the Guardian. He doesn't push if you're not. He's not going to be insistent.
Does he seem like an agent of Narcitus?
No.
Does he seem like he knows where a unicorn, or suicidal unicorn could possibly be?
He is an elf. He is a druid. You know that much.
Allegedly.
Well, allegedly. I mean,
Our first blood cultist druid.
Yeah.
I lunge for his face and see if I can pull off a mask.
And I would have gotten away with it too. If it hadn't been for your meddling kids.
And you're a Bizdard.
We are.
Spoons over here.
I think in the brown box up there.
I go on a metal one
We
though.
are on a quest. As you'll know, there has been infestation of the followers of the Blood Demon.
There are none such like that in these parts.
Well, then you are quite fortunate.
What about unicorns? Are there any? I hear sometimes that in these sort of enchanted Fey woods, sometimes unicorns frolic about.
There are the occasional unicorn here or there.
Oh, how many perhaps dwell in this forest?
I have met one, maybe 2.
What's their disposition like? I've only heard legends and stories, you see.
Unicorns are natural creatures. They are goodly. They like to help. They try to help protect areas when others cannot.
Let's see.
Excellent. We definitely know of an area where someone can needs protecting where others cannot.
Yeah, this is true.
We actually seek the counsel of a unicorn. That is what we're looking for. There is a problem we have that only a unicorn can help us with.
Problem that only a unicorn helped. That is a intriguing puzzle. How is it that a unicorn can help where others cannot?
It is a unicorn's. It is a unicorn is required in order to defeat the powers of Nardarchist. Only the goodliness and the kindness and the generosity of such a being is going to undo a great evil in this world.
An ultimate sacrifice sort of situation.
Well, I do believe that there is a greater collection of unicorns within the Feywilds. Are you prepared and willing to travel such a realm?
It is a distinct possibility.
We've been some places before.
What preparation would be needed
In regards,
to travel into the Feywild?
well, I mean, you are quite a sizable group, and you know, I am not trying to be.
I know he's overdressed. Completely overdressed for the occasion. I tried to tell him to dress down, but that aside.
I don't mean to be overly optimistic or complimentary. You look competent to the task.
Thank you very much.
We manage.
Merci
we manage.
beaucoup.
So,
Do you know where? In fact, it is true. We were hoping to speak with the Guardian about locating a passage to the Feywild.
so is the only thing that you wish to gain from the Guardian would be to seek this passage, or was there other information that you would seek from him as well?
Perhaps some insight. Fanis, do you trust this druid?
I guess.
Thank you for your trust.
For that tepid response.
You're driving in.
Oh, here's the deal. There is a great artifact that has been made in the name of the Blood Lord himself. They wish to reclaim it, and once they do, the great orc tribes in the mountains will take it and rally to it, and then descend upon all the land, spreading his evil. And I do not believe it will end at Courtship or Griffin-Gaff or Crathan Gulch itself. I think it is a darkness that will spread and wash across the world till we've all been drowned in a sea of blood. For that is the wickedness of this creature.
Now, this could sound a touch dramatic, but
That-
it actually is absolutely true.
That sounds horrific. Like he seems visibly shaken at this.
Well, as you should be. These are most desperate times. And we need to unmake this artifact. There is only one way to destroy it. We've garnered the components.
And you need aid from a unicorn?
We need sacrifice from a unicorn. Willing sacrifice. One must pay the ultimate price to unmake this unholy object.
Yeah, the light here is not the greatest, but those that are close, like you definitely see his already pale elven visage grow ashen.
Yes, I know these tidings are unpleasant.
It's not something we want to do, but it's something that has to be done.
We do not even have the ability to do it. All we can do is bring word of the need to one of these magnificent creatures, and they will have to decide.
Well, that is a task that I I would dread the constitution of you folk are strong indeed. I will guide you to. He seems like he's trying to get the words out, and like his reaction to your words, like it's having a very big effect on him.
It has not been an easy row to
Travel.
hoe.
I will take you to the Guardian. It is another day's travel, and hopefully the spirit will be able to guide you to an answer.
That's what we're hoping too. We've already had to overcome a death tyrant and powder its skull. We've had to garner the tears of an angel.
Locate the light of the light, and were there any other tasks?
Nope, that was it.
We've battled a demon or two on that score as well. Lesser demons.
Once we unmake this thing, I think it will be time for us to travel straight to the bowels of hell itself and take the fight to Narkidus.
Hoorah.
I've had enough of this guy.
So
I have to hurry up because
any
then I'm getting married.
assistance would be most appreciated. And of course, we tell you this in the strictest confidentiality.
You have my word. He goes into Elven. He ties his words to the land, to the trees, to his circle. That it will be spoken to naught but you and the Guardian.
Not much more can we ask.
Seamlessly said. Seamlessly.
So,
I thought you liked scenes.
I do. I say it in Elven.
So do you wish to rest the night and we set off at first light, or do you wish to continue your journey this eve?
I think we could do with the rest. Be well.
I presume we've been traveling all day.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'll be in my casual clothes then. My traveling clothes.
Forgot to show them the best part.
The part where it turns into assless chaps.
That's a different one.
He didn't quite have enough to pay for that. Extra.
So are those clothes stacked with armor?
No.
The clothes are armor.
Whatever.
Whatever.
I think it's really awesome.
That's okay.
So freeing too.
Bless you.
Thank you. I do spend a little extra time admiring your wardrobe and looking very thoughtful.
I would. But of course. I sing the little come to Pixlex where every stitch is magical jingle. Oh.
I'm going for a walk. Grumbling and halfling.
Oh my God.
And kicking rocks.
I might have to talk to this guy when we get back.
Absolutely, madam. I'm certain he can make a cape that will go very well with your armor.
You look quite
Maybe a
dashing.
chapeau.
My cape is pretty awesome already.
What cape do you have?
Cloak of Elvenkind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Boots?
I don't think I have any special kind of boots.
Oh, there you go.
But
Certainly.
he's a tailor. He's not a cobbler.
A hat, then. Yes, he's not a...
He's not a pie, huh?
Sure, just because he's some kind of fey elf creature, you think he can make shoes.
He knows a guy.
Here we go with the stereotyping again. Next, you're going to be seeing, like, you want some cookies.
Nice.
So Larion kind of, he sits silently for a while. Eventually, he goes over to you, Thanos, and he's seeking reassurance that what was said was actually legit, and he's very, very concerned.
Yes, he should be.
And when he's talking to you, he's talking to Druidic, which full well that
Nope, sorry.
those who speak it, they are beings of the land, and kind of rule of thumb is you don't teach it to other people. So you fully believe that this guy is legit. So do you do anything to kind of reassure him?
Well,
Give him a
I'll
big
kind
kiss.
of explain to him that, like, as much as it sucks and I don't want it to happen, what must be done must be done. So there's not really much we can do to save the world.
So he talks to you for a while, and willing to trade stories and what have you, and he does not seem as well traveled. He by the end of the conversation, he had started off like, I'm up here, you're down here, and by the end it's like, I'm down here, you're up here. So he's
You outdruid him.
so like in some ways his confidence is like even less, because like he thought, I'm this big deal, and you're coming in with this group, and you're all ready to the top druid in the area, and he doesn't really like that. Not that it's like he doesn't like it, it's demoralizing on top of the already bad situation.
He challenges you to a druid off.
So we haven't found the suicidal unicorn yet, but we have made a suicidal druid.
Maybe if he turns into a unicorn.
No.
I don't think that'll work. All right.
I don't even know what Circle of the Land does.
They're spellcasters.
A whole lot of nothing.
Okay, so
There's
they're
just smoke
definitely
for
not as
dope, and
At this time, Ulfgar is getting a nice log with some moss on it for his head, setting it by the fire. He's ready to.
Cool. See, this is why you bring your own hammock, and it's just
kick
it's
back.
great.
Do you want to come in here for a moment? And there is an opaque dome, about 10 by 10.
Oh, fabulous. I thought you'd never ask. All right.
Inside is like plush pillows.
Oh, wow.
and
Yeah, I brushed the moss
very
off the back of my hair.
very thick carpets. It is welcome to Lucky's Pleasure Dome.
Oh, this place is enchanting. Thank you so much.
Well, it's something you have to do while you're there. You did say it's a pleasure, though.
It's actually a rubbing tug.
Oh, boy.
Henri does not make any demands, but he will not refuse.
overtures.
Would you like a
I keep my
cigarette?
shield close.
Your friend's close.
I endeavor to I now definitely have to go kill this demon god, because like, what's this pixie thing gonna do? Like, he can't say that he slew a demon god, right?
just trying to
So
find
that's
reasons
some
to
one-upmanship.
At least your cause is a noble one.
Yeah.
That's right.
A noble quest.
Gotta go impress people.
Yeah.
That's right.
One up that tailor.
Yeah, you gotta one up that tail. That's right. It's like the story of the brave tailor.
So the morning.
7 blood cultists and 1 blow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like the pheasants. You just-
Yes. Those are blood cultist pheasants. But anyway.
There's blood. So yeah. Holy cow.
They're blood.
So
Right.
the morning light begins to shine through the trees. Ariane has already, got out a set of breakfast for those that are willing to
Excuse me.
not get into the meats. There's plenty of high energy fruits that have been laid out for any that I wish to share. His pallor is recovered, if not completely, but
Some fresh brew
Some.
coffee.
His name is not Juan.
It's not what?
Juan.
One.
it's not Juan Valdez, no.
All right. We'll have breakfast. We'll break our fast.
Snack.
My headache gone?
Yeah. It was only a few days. So well before you guys started the trip out here, your headaches were gone. It was just a couple of days. You weren't really sure what happened.
All right.
You probably just attribute it to the chaos storm.
And now you're pregnant.
That would be interesting.
Chaos storms, man. They're a hell of a thing.
Yep. Who knows what will
I
happen?
hadn't even thought about that.
You're gonna launch a baby right at your belly button.
So,
And that, David, is where babies come from.
That's where baby elves come from.
get caught in a chaos storm, and the next thing you know it. Oh, DM's rolling dice. It's always bad.
I'm always rolling dice. I fidget. I don't know how to fidget spinner here.
So, first thing in the morning, we head out, head towards the Guardian.
So the druid, he seems to be seeking something to affix his mind on. So any that are walking, at the front with him, he's pointing out different creatures and calling them by name. Like that's a squirrel, but that's chitter or whatever. Talking about different trees.
I was thinking about the cuts of meat. I wonder how that would taste. Is that plump and juicy?
I was just wondering what the pheasant's name was.
Which one was this? It's just Zach, a pile of bones.
Oh, Zachary, what has happened?
That was a little Zap Braff.
He came to the wrong place looking to ease his mind.
It's going to be a bummer. I'm going to have to tell Martha.
I'm up front with him. He's not. You're in the back. You bum.
Pouting.
So you understand that he's literally just trying to wrap his mind around something. The events of last night were not they were very unsettling to him. So it seems to ease a bit.
As they are to all of us. But if you had witnessed the great evils that have been committed in the name of the blood demon, perhaps that would help, knowing that could be stopped. It is one thing to hear about the horrors that are coming, but it's another to have witnessed some of them firsthand.
Lit some of them.
It's true.
What do you mean?
Are you or are you him?
Oh, him.
Ixnay on the commit tag.
In my attempt to control and destroy the spear, I entered into gladiatorial pit fighting, and instead of just defeating my opponents, the dagger bade me to kill them, cold blood.
That's horrific.
It is, and even
You,
worse.
you were under an evil influence at the time, though.
Yeah.
Ace and Shargal was really there with you, pushing.
Who wasn't under?
And and to make it worse, when I was finally able to put it down, it spoke to me. Like, if ever I say its name, it'll come to me and we will kill everything. It's very
Interesting. What name was that?
Hmm?
I said interesting. What name was that?
What's the name you're not supposed to ever say? Well, what's this?
Were you jokingly saying that, or did you
No,
actually
no.
say that?
No, I did not say that.
you guys have managed to silence the voices, in your head for the time. But you know that the more you actually talk about,
It's just waiting.
that it's more than likely able to rear its.
It's just like a crocodile on the edge of the pond.
Ready to snap.
All you see is tiny little bubbles.
So, Ariana, he inquires, to if you're willing to actually get into, like, what things that you've done, share in your victories, if you will.
Ooh, stories.
Feels like too many to count now. We're telling now. How long is this journey?
Oh my god.
Well, you're traveling today.
Yeah.
So.
We've kicked a lot of ass over the past few years.
Yeah. And we've made some good friends too. I tell them about the storm giant.
Ulfgar disappointingly thought you were talking about him.
Slump shoulder.
He went to, pat you on the back and immediately pulled back.
He's like high five.
He was almost.
And then there was that barbarian. And maybe that-
Yeah, really, and we have made very, very close dwarven friends too.
There we go.
There's Sahalit.
Now I do.
Don't
I
forget
saunter
gear
off to the
grinder.
side.
I hope they have returned to their own land safely.
I'm dragging behind the group a little bit now.
So have you let them all know that you've now entered into a contract?
No, dwarves would never talk about that.
What were you doing for that fortnight where you were away from Gryffindor?
I went out on a personal pilgrimage. Yeah. Cleansing of the spirit and the mind.
What?
Oh, well, while you
For
were
what?
gone, your girlfriend has left.
Well, yes, she has returned home. I have it on good authority she'll be coming back.
I hope you were able to say goodbye before she left.
Mm-hmm. Y'all gonna be braiding each other's beards?
We we did in a very dwarvish and proper fashion.
Did what?
Braided each other's beards. It looks very nice.
She does not have a beard. She should, but I don't think she does.
I don't. She is actually clean shaven.
She shaves, huh? That's nice.
Yeah,
Not a lot of dwarves to do that for you.
that European look.
Well, she is Brazilian.
No.
How much does she shave?
We've entered the proper ways of courtship. It is true,
At a wrestling match?
and the ways of her homeland, the females set, or I guess the one being sought after gets to set the terms of the contract, and for her, she will set forth trials for me, and the first is one of creation and craft. So I went to a place that is sacred to myself, that is a place that represents duty and loyalty and friendship.
Didn't she
to
see my
meditate.
glaive?
I do not know if she did or not. She probably seen you using it.
She has to know you made that. She told you made that.
Well, that's just the glaive.
That's one trial down right there.
I would agree, the book as well, but it doesn't actually work that way. It has to be prepared for this actual trial. So I went off into
No
the,
halfling in the right mind would accept this contract.
well, we're not halflings.
Oh,
So I went off into the
And
mountains
there's the first error.
to contemplate what would be a worthy thing to craft, and I think I've come up with something. It's going to require much study and research on my part, though, but I think I will make her a new set of tattooing tools.
Sweet. And
How
her
romantic.
first job with them will be to tattoo me something else.
Unconventional, but I guess a wise choice.
Well, it should be meaningful to her. She also has the ability to imbue her tattoos with magic.
Unless she takes it as you're just giving her work tools, like getting your wife a vacuum cleaner.
Happy birthday.
That is a valid point, but I do believe she sees that in herself more of an artist, and that is her art form.
Well, it's much better than an artisanal chamber pot per se.
I suppose. But I believe I could probably make a set of tools that enhance her own very capable abilities, making it easier for her to channel more magical energy into her creations.
So we give her magical tools and a brand new canvas.
Well, she does do exquisite work.
She does. I show you my tattoos. She did for me on my forearm. Did I say whether it's the left or right?
I feel like you did. Not entirely sure.
I don't know where my tattoo is either, but I have one.
My back. She did my back.
Yeah, she did your entire back there.
There's stuff. There's the rumblings of things happening.
Well, those things.
And stuff.
So that is where I went upon my pilgrimage. There will also be a trial of magic and one of combat. So I think she likes me. She kind of picked the things I'm good at.
Well, congratulations.
Joke's
on
on
your
you. You have to
affluence.
fight it to her ass.
Wow.
So wait, she picked making something. What else?
A task of magic and a task of combat.
What's the task of magic?
She just said magic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, feat of magic. I don't know what it's going to be. She's going to let me know as I complete each task.
I think it's a first turn Nicholas Bolus.
Yeah.
Could be.
When it comes to the combat, if you need a proxy, I'll kill whatever you need killing.
Excellent.
Neighbors.
You're my man. If it gets to that.
Right?
What? Oh yeah, I've done that. Okay.
Trial by combat.
Not that.
And if you should fail and die during this trial of combat,
I
You
think
want us to
then
kill
you're
her?
free to court. Perhaps.
My eyebrow peeks up a little bit and push it down.
I don't think that'll be necessary. Let's.
Very lovely.
You know what? If I get killed, have the cleric channel my spirit and ask me something. Ask me about it then. I'll see how I feel about it.
okay, because you know I got you.
Perhaps if I feel I was set up, then maybe.
Cut that bitch in half. I do not hate women, America.
Or Kazakhstan. I mean, this is the internet.
To the rest of the world, Martin.
I totally hate women. No,
yes.
we were all about love, peace.
And
Talk of
Nerdarchy.
love with
I mean, come on, look at
contracts
this hair. How can it be anything but heavy, right?
Yeah. So,